Welcome back. Hey guys, or as they say in California, hey. That reminds me, if I'm going to keep doing these videos, maybe I need to get a mic. I hope you guys don't mind how horrible my voice sounds. First of all, I probably don't have the best voice to begin with. And second of all, it even sounds worse without a microphone, but I'm doing it on my phone. And I know in the beginning I always said, I'm doing these videos for you, but I guess, why would I do that, right? I guess part of it's for me, let's be real. That being said, let's get into our sponsors for today's show. The first one would be Bitcoin. And I don't know if you guys know what's going on with Bitcoin. I'll make it quick and painless. The price is coming down. We aren't to the big run yet. If you go off of every 4-year cycle, it's this year in September, and it'll run through the new year into spring. Sometimes it runs longer, and it runs crazy. But the halving, as we talked about, was in, I forget again, March 14th, April 14th. That doesn't usually dry up the supply until September. So these kind of pullbacks that we're having right now are very common. We have more people buying than we did back then as far as the government's now okayed it. You can buy Bitcoin on the stock market in the United States. That's never happened before. So that being said, the German government is selling a ton of Bitcoin right now. And the Mt. Gox hack that happened, I don't know, 10 years ago, are finally distributing their Bitcoin to the people that have been victims of that. I'll call them a victim, but so I mean, if they had, like, just to say 100 Bitcoin, which isn't crazy back then because the price was maybe $1,000, $600. I don't know. They will get back like 17 to 20 Bitcoin, but I think they're still doing okay if you look at the price now versus back then. I don't think anybody would balk at that deal. So the point is, these people getting back their money that they've had put away for 10 years, they are also selling, and regardless of that selling, the price is staying up around 56, 57. It's almost 58,000 a coin today. A year ago, it was probably, I don't want to make up numbers, probably 30,000 a year ago. So we're still doing fine. I just want to say that the market's strong considering all the negative selling. I heard China was selling too. Why that government would need to. I think they compensated some Bitcoin from somebody and they're dumping it. Nonetheless, that's the less important sponsor. The highest sponsor would be my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Got to shout out to him if I'm going to praise a game like Ebony and Bitcoin. I at least got to say something about him. All that stuff is way more important. All the religious stuff is way more important than any of this stuff. All you got to do is look at like DNA and how much code and design is in this entire world. And I know the scientists will try to tell you that it happened on its own through evolution and millions and billions of years of luck. But they can't even recreate it in a test tube. They're saying, lightning struck a cosmic or a pool of sludge and got the first microorganisms to start growing, and then we evolved into something that could crawl out of the water, and it's just ridiculous. There are no links in the fossil records, like they say, from apes to human. Apes have 4 hands, essentially. Their hips are completely structured wrong. They want to be walking on all 4s. There's no transition, and they'll try to tell you there is, and they have an agenda, just like I have an agenda. They have an agenda to prove their point, and they give you the information that they want to. So with that, I've bored you enough. If you're still here, let's get into some Ebony. Get some homework out of the way real quick before we get into reading some reports. Had a pretty interesting SVS. I would say I was successful. Well, let's not do that. Let's get to the homework first. I was considering changing my wall general to Isaac Brock, even though Genghis just crapped all over him. If you, I probably shouldn't go in through the wall. Let's go in through the generals. If you take a peek at him, don't look at my generals. They're all across the board because these are people I use in the Senate. Let's go to this view here. I do like this new view now. I feel like they upgraded it so it's more accessible for certain situations. So my main defense general is Richard. I've showed you in previous videos how many stats you get from, or how much stats you get, how much buffs you get from this guy. It's a lot. It's like 470% to buff up your troops. But I feel like I want credit for this. Nobody used Richard Lionheart before I started doing videos. Nobody. In fact, when I had Richard on the wall, people would attack the crap out of me thinking I didn't know what I was doing. And you might argue they were right. But regardless, now almost everybody's using them, and I totally want credit for this, because after I did videos a couple months later, even like Genghis was throwing it in there and whatnot. So let my ego think that it was me. Where I'm going to this, I'd like to change him just to get to draw more hits. But that's not what I'm thinking right now. I'm going to leave him alone. I want to take out my assistant, which sucks because I got all these specialties done, and I got this same orb on both generals. It's the same orb, but they both count. That's the one that you get in the SVS chest, and I have plenty of those to go around. So I would like to put Isaac Brock here because, you know, my theory is the ground are the first ones to get attacked, and then you're mounted, and then they got to work through that to get to your range and your siege, unless you can last long enough to shoot over. My point is, I want HP and defense on my ground and my mounted to hold up the enemy's attack. So I thought about poo-pooing this guy and going all in on Isaac Brock, because Isaac Brock, well, he does have a covenant as well. We've talked about the covenants, right? You see the gold helmets, or if you look real close, you'll see that there's two helmets with the gold one in front. Those are active all the time, whether you're using this general anywhere or not. So I like to get the good ones of those covenants. Some covenants suck and aren't even worth doing the first one on some generals. Maybe I could show you the ones that I have done, but I don't know how much time you want me to waste. I could just rifle through them real quick and show you the ones that I think are valuable. And I think I have all the generals. So unless it's like a cake general, of course. I don't cake for that stuff. But I mean all the ones that were available in, like released in chests. Like this one was Washington Prime, which is my favorite Transformer. So those you can get out of a chest. So I wanted to use this guy because in-city ground troop and mounted troop attack and HP, and in-city ground troop attack and defense by 20. Those are pretty good stats versus the other guy was just doing, I think, siege attack and another attack. Leo here does in-city troop attack. It's 10% times 4, so that's 40. Last time I went to school, that was the math. I'm sure it's different now. In-city siege machine attack by another 35%. So I do a lot of killing with my siege. That's why I started using this guy, and he paired with George Dewey, who I started with at the time. So, but this SVS changed my mind and made me want to stick with this guy, just because of some of the reports that I'm going to share with you soon. So also with Isaac Brock comes the covenants. So I would be able to open up the in-city troop HP, in-city troop ground troop, ground HP and ground troop defense. I would like more siege HP and defense after this weekend, if that's a little bit of a spoiler alert. But I don't have any of those books on my walls either, so I haven't closed the book on this guy yet. But that's what I'm steering towards. Maybe if you think he's trash, like Genghis said, let me know. I was glad to see they actually put somebody defensively in there, even if it's only a wall general. I'd love to see them throw a good sub-city general in the featured general that you can get, you know, whatever it is, 7% chance, 10% chance of getting him. Let me look here. So looking at my cheat sheets here, guys. I do have another assistant general change, I shouldn't say another. I usually stick with my guys because it's painful to switch, and it's annoying as hell that they keep updating these generals. Because, I mean, you could change, but if there was a better way to get my orbs from one general to another, you can't use the Senate. Is it even called the Senate? You can't use the Council soul binding unless the general is completely 10-starred, all red stars. So my assistant generals don't qualify for that. Obviously, they aren't 5-starred. So my new general, what would be the best way to show you guys? Let's go into the rally spot. I'm going to go ahead and throw my polygamist. That is my mounted troop officer. I will take him 5 stars next time. Usually my assistant, I'm talking PvP, I have 2 George Custers. Show you my other one, my PVM, player versus monsters. This would be my player versus monsters. I like this guy because he has a massive 10% march size, and he takes the march size skill book. So there's 22%, which is surprising that they let him have the skill book and it's in his basic skill, which is great. Then on this guy, I go ahead and do monster troop attack versus monsters, which I don't want on my PvP general, so this is why I have it on my monster general. And then monsters against defense. I don't know, maybe it should be HP. I don't think I have an HP book on my other one. I definitely don't. My main one would have attack, defense, and HP for skill books. So now getting on to my assistant that I use for PvP, I use mounted troop speed, march size, and then because I don't have anything left, I just put on a march speed. So trying to think if there's something else I should be putting on there. I don't know. If you guys have a better option, you know, like if my ground was quicker, if that would help me, let me know. Like I said, I'm not an expert. We're doing this together. Tell me where I'm an idiot, and we can all learn together. I'm just teaching you guys what I do know, or at least what I think. So that is my assistant. My new assistant's going to be very shortly. I am using this guy as my range assistant because he has a covenant. So I can't view it from here. But I have switched up my range. It was a hard... I have a... crap. What's the name of my general again? My range general is the guy that used to be good. Simeon. So I'm not going to change. Look how much I got into this guy. I'm almost got him fully ascended. I would have him fully ascended if I wasn't bad at math. I thought I had enough copies. So he was real hard to get an assistant that had any attack, and that still allowed a skill book of attack for range. So I was using the guy in the tavern. This is going to be a long video. I say that every time. I'm usually right. Where the heck is he? There we go. Vladimir. He doesn't have a lot of attack, but he takes an attack skill book, and then he does some enemy troop debuff or attack debuff. So he was the best one I could find to pair with Simeon. But now we have a good one. Moving on. I was showing you my new assistant, and it was the new guy, my favorite transformer, which leads me to another point. I didn't really want to show you this guy. I wanted to show you the other version. So the reason I left this guy whole is I wanted to show you that this is my second copy of Washington Prime. and the Covenant cannot be opened. I was hoping I could use a cheap copy of him as my new monster attack general, because then the Covenant would double dip for me and I could use all the extra stats. But now that we had this talk, I'm going to dismiss him, and we are going to go to the correct copy. I think I have him starred or hearted. Yeah, he's got a heart on. So yeah, I know what I said. So here you can see this guy takes the skill book, as well as has about the same stats. Oh, it's more. It's 40% attack, which matches Custer, but it has another 5% march size. And so that's cool. So that isn't really, I'm not taking it just for the 5%. I assume his specialties are better. I'm not going to compare them right now. But the Covenant, this will give me march speed, in rally mounted troop defense, which helps a little bit when you're rallying monsters. And then training capacity I could care less about. But the defense and attack, mounted troop attack all the time. Now, you can see I already bought the next Covenant, but I don't have enough, I don't know what attributes. Value, basically, you add all these 4 up. That's why it pays to... I'm skipping around, but let me show you this. Every one that is in a Covenant, I put a purple weapon on, or a blue weapon when I ran out of purple. Because you'll find yourself being like, why do I have this? I need a room. I need room for a new general, or I got to get another VIP level. And you're looking for people to delete. You'll delete the wrong. I deleted the wrong one. So now I know if he's in a Covenant, I do put a weapon on these people. Like this guy actually is in a Covenant. And this one had a blue, so he's in a Covenant. So that way I almost deleted Zuka, because I don't use him anymore. And luckily I had a weapon on him, like Matthias. Like, why do I need him? Just because when you're doing the Senate and everything, there's so many different generals, and you're trying to keep them all straight. That's my secret sauce for that. So going back to this Covenant, I would need to soup up these generals. They aren't that weak. I mean, we're talking level 33. I guess he's not that great. I'll have to use my sub trick before that glitch is gone, to get these guys up to 40 to see where I can end up getting them. I feel like most of you must know how Covenant works, right? You're watching YouTube, so you must be more educated than the people in my alliance. That I shouldn't say that. Some of the people in all our alliances that don't know a lot of this stuff. That's why I feel like I need to tell you the obvious, because there are people out there that missed it and it's not talked about anymore. So I'm still learning stuff that I should have known a while ago. So I try to throw that obvious stuff in. So that's going to be my new assistant. I'll rifle through them real quickly and show you whose Covenants I'm using that I think are actually valuable. I like this guy's Covenant because it gives you enemy range troop attack debuff. I do not use him as an assistant. I just use him for that 10% attack debuff. This guy's Covenant, I do like his rage troop and siege machine attack 5% on all the time, whether it's in my city or whether this general's being used or not. But I do use him as my range. How far did I take this guy? Yeah, see, I wanted to talk about this guy's Covenant. Does this make any sense that his last 2 Covenants are only when you're using the general, and it's all in-city stuff? So I'm rather confused why you would take, and I think his stat is like when he's leading the army to attack. Oh, he's not. So I guess you could put this guy on your wall. This might be a good secret. Increase your range troop attack and HP by 40%, and range troops and siege machines defense by 10% when generals leading the army. Now, would you want to do all these other stats too? Range troop attack. Well, first of all, I don't have 15 copies of this clown. So I guess if you got 15 copies, you can use this guy. But let's see what his specialties are if they're attacking. Range troop and defense, or range troop HP and defense. March size, which doesn't help on your wall general. Attacking siege. An attacking range troop attack. So that's not a wall general thing. And then that specialty would work well on the wall. And so with that, I guess I'm not using them on my wall. So again, this covenant makes no sense. So I'm not spending on that one. If you guys know something I don't, please let me know. That covenant I use, Washington Prime we just talked about. Oh, you can see all my generals. Napoleon Prime, not my favorite transformer. Speaking of California, shout out to the trans community. Let's see here. So this guy's, I don't use it. Why don't I use it? Because the 2 gold helmets are training speed and training capacity. Complete trash. If you were going to use them as your assistant, you could get some march size and some mounted attack. Huh. Maybe that should be my new assistant. Mounted troop attack on monsters, 12%. See? We are learning together. This guy could be an assistant. Let's take a look at his stat. 50% mounted troop attack and defense and HP when he brings a dragon or a spiritual beast. I got a spirit beast. So I would be getting, okay, I would lose march size. I would lose 10% march size to get 10% attack and a bunch of HP, and I might have to play with that one. Let's see if we can get some attack in here somewhere. Well, yeah. Oh, wait, no, march size I wanted. 5%. I'd have to get him all the way down. It's really hard for me to read it, too. 8% mounted troop attack and ground troop attack on a second to last, and then marching troop attack in rally mount. He gets a lot of, he would be a really good assistant for attack, but I would lose march size. And I don't know that I want to spend all those stones to find out which one is better. I don't know. Table it. But it's interesting. This guy's Covenant, Suchet, I think he is going to be my new assistant ground general. He's going to give us, yeah, see, this is one I had further along, and then I deleted one of these guys because I thought I didn't need them. Anyways, ground troop attack, yeah, training, and I kind of like that it had the Holy Place deserter capacity because it sounds good. I don't know. Does that mean that your troops are dead after that fills up? So, I don't know. It was something, and it was cheap, so I had a ton of stones. Hopefully I don't regret spending them there. Did I say he was going to be my new assistant ground general? I think he is. I booked him. I reserve the right to change my mind. Oh, shoot, I had the heart on. Yeah, I know what I said. So I wonder if I skipped over any for you guys. Suchet. Oh, Gunther. Talk about a sexy name. I did not do any of his Covenant, and I'm using it as my siege assistant. So, I don't have all 3 of these generals. I got this clown, but I don't have this chick. And I'm so skeptical that the Covenant, you know, like Genghis and them tell you the Covenant counts if you don't have all 3. But this border on Gunther does not glow when you don't have all 3, and that makes me nervous. You see how glowy his border is? They will not glow on some of the other Covenants that I've had. There's one in here that I actually progressed without all of them. I think it's this guy. Yeah. So this guy, this El Cid or whatever his name, or no, Bertrand. I don't have him, but I did do the Covenants because I want this last Covenant, and you notice how glowy he isn't? That makes me nervous. So I'll have to take a look at my stats when I finally get this guy going. I said I was going to do that, but this game is ridiculous and there's so much to do. Oh, here's a chick that I didn't cover before. Hospital capacity. I like my hospital capacity. It gives me more soul. I would rather heal organically than to use the soul as often as I can, because I do run out of soul. I know the big spenders never run out of soul, but I think that might be the only one I haven't showed you yet that doesn't have a hard on. Oh, this guy. I like his. I don't remember what it is yet, but I liked it. Desert capacity, all time, and enemy range troop and enemy range troop. Oh, and siege HP. Sorry, I was having a brain cramp. So I like that. There's nothing wrong with free debuffs. I'll take it everywhere I can get it. That should be the end of the covenants that I agree with. Some of the other ones are just trash. Like, they're all the other ones were training and capacity and speed. No, not speed even. Capacity and maybe it was speed. I don't know. Things that I don't need to invest in. That being said, this video is very long. Just reading my cheat sheet again. We talked about it all, so we can get into reports. We had an SVS this weekend. I don't know about you guys, but we did. And where is it here? This is where we're at. So I'm at the top. I did not get first place over all the week. I did get first place in SVS. I started out fast. I found people that didn't know who I was. Some people, if they watch my YouTube channel, they won't attack me, but I'm teaching you how to beat me, especially in this video. So, by golly, let's get some points together and get the SVS chest. And then you can maybe make the show. So, I started out quickly, and there were some people that thought they could hit me on the other alliance. That sounds cocky. I don't mean it to be. Do we start from the beginning? I don't want to read all these reports. So this Osmo top 3 player, I got a phone call and that apparently kicks off my screen recording. So I'm going to jump right back in here where I think I left off. This would be the beginning of the SVS. Not sure what this is here, just somebody pecking away at me. It looks like they were testing out. I think they were actually trying to kill my archer tower. Some of these were pretty tiny. They were just donating troops to the cause. So I think a lot of these were. That looks like a semi-real attack. Let's take a look. Looks like he sent some baby troops at me, and they sent, where are we here? Oh, some smaller siege. So similar to what I'll do, just to check to see if I can get to some of their bigger siege. I mean, their siege had some kills, so they didn't do nothing with that baby march. Something to play around with. But let's get up to the meat of things here. I don't think these guys were doing anything real. Here we go. So they finally two-person rallied me. I had Shajar on my wall to try to get some action because they weren't doing anything. And here we got a 300 million. I had some rain. I was on their server though. I had some reinforcements, and it was just a two-person rally from them. Looks like it's 300 to... that's nice that my phone stopped working. Ebony, come on. That's probably not Ebony's fault. That's just a random cell tower here. I have to do another video? I have full service here. I really don't don't want to start and stop again. I'm sorry. That's great. Red Wi-Fi. There's a YouTube channel on this game called Red Wi-Fi. I feel like that wasn't me and that was the servers, but what do I know? We were just getting into the guts. Do we want to see what this is here? What did he send? I had one person reinforcing me. This is a pretty boring video. They're just trying to siege pop me. Here's a nice rally. I lost 101, and they lost 300,000 or 600,000. So by the end of the first day, I am at 3 billion points, and we have a massive lead. And all we have to do is sit on our hands, and we'll win. But you know how humans are. That's pretty tough to do. Just taking a look at this other one here. This is pretty close. Let's see what they hit with here. I was on their server, and they hit with range. They did pretty well. Let's see what they knocked out of mine. Oh, I left my troops unexposed, so on purpose, because they won't hit. That's bait to allow me to get some attacks. I will ghost a chunk of those. In fact, I think I was ghosting 700,000 of them in the bunker. But I don't like not to have any bait. Some of you guys don't leave any mounted or any siege. I forget. Mounted or ground or your range. You hide it all. I don't know why anybody is dumb enough to hit you if you do that. I at least want to make it look like they have a chance. So that's with Shazar on the wall and my mounted exposed. So then the next day, this KURG guy, who I feel we've played before, comes in here and whips out his big schlong onto the table, and we get to see what it's all about. Now, I did get some... I feel like we broke even, this guy and I might have even been a little ahead. In fact, I pulled a little trick on him that made him spam me. And basically what I did is we had a guy in our alliance that got destroyed. So they knew he was fair bait. And I switched to copy his name. And they thought that it was another easy win. So they just spammed me. And I got a bunch of hits off of him, which was pretty nice. But let's take a look at his first hit. He doesn't know who I am. He hits 430 to 200. But I don't think he sent siege. And look how many reinforcements I had, right? Because he thought I was this other guy at this point already. He didn't know it was the famous YouTuber that knows everything about this game. So he sent a full march of ground. And I'm pretty happy with those results. Of course, I had a ton of reinforcements. I wonder what happened if I didn't have any reinforcements. Reinforcements are just huge because all those layers he has to go through and engage with for every turn versus just killing my troops. So I'd be willing to bet if he marched at me with ground and I didn't have any reinforcements, which he had an opportunity to later, and he was, I mean, they had enough lead once he started playing that he didn't have to take any risks. So, but now showing him this, I bet he would feel very confident hitting me with his ground march if I didn't have anything in. And I'm built for siege attacks right now, so he should do even better if I didn't have reinforcements. But let's just take a look at what he killed on mine. So he's, this goes to show what I'm talking about. Like, the ground marches hit each other first. And I know ground kills range, but he can't get to my range because ground can't shoot over anything. So what do they call it? Melee, whatever that word is. They have to hand-to-hand combat. And so his ground killed my ground in almost no range, which we've talked about before. So that's why I like ground troop HP and defense. So moving down, he killed some of my mounted, which makes sense. A little bit of sense, right? Like, mounted is so much faster, and I even have a mounted speed book on my my wall, which I don't know if that's right or not. Like, do I want my mounted getting there any sooner? I know that's where my T1 layer is, but do I want ground troop speed on my wall? I don't know. These are the things I ponder. And you can leave in the comments and tell me what you know about it. So we'll just take a look, see if his ground was even able to get to my T1s. Let's take a peek at that. Yeah, I mean, he killed my T2s and not my T1s. So that's about where the battle ended. That's how deep he got with that big thing he whipped out. So my T1s didn't even kill much either. So interestingly, my T2s did, but interesting info there. Let's take a look at his buffs. When he sends, what did I hit the wrong button here? When he sends ground, he's hitting with 3,000 attack. He's no joke. My ground attack debuff is only 788, so I could debuff about 1,500, a little over 1,500, so he's well over that. My HP and defense doesn't, did I do half of his HP? That's pretty damn close. I'm not going to make you suffer through the math, but I did do half of his HP, so I don't know how much HP debuff I have for ground. Looks pretty encouraging. And then if you want to see my stats, take a peek. I'm swinging almost 2,100 siege attack. How much killing did my siege do and my range do? We should find that out. So my range is doing some killing. That's good. My siege is doing a little bit of killing. Nothing crazy. So my range kills more ground than my siege does. Not by much though. So that's interesting. That's good to know. All right, so that was his first hit on me, and then he spams me. You can see my power drops, and he does worse as my power drops. This one is ground again, right? This was different, so I must have had to move. This is, I only have one person reinforcing me. Well, that's good. We wanted to know how his ground would do against me without rain. This is pretty close to without rain. But I think what I did here is, I don't think I have a lot of siege here. No, I got my siege exposed. I just found it interesting that my power level was down to 2 billion. So reading the report, he sent that massive ground again, so I'm pretty happy about this. Just reading. Looks like everything gets to take chunks out of his ground when he comes at me when I don't have reinforcements. So I feel pretty safe about my ground attack. But gosh, I did much better here. 2.2 billion. I'm supposed to be 2.3, so that's not real far off. I was 2.4 here, and I lost more power. He did better. Let's just see his march size is 5,126. 5,126. He used the same generals. Why did I do better? Now, there were times where I didn't have all my buffs activated. Guess I'm going to attribute it to that. I mean, I did better without rain, without reinforcement. Something was different. So here we go. Yeah, he probably doesn't want me to show this one. I don't know what this is part of the spamming, I think. I had lots of reinforcements, and he sent ground again. Okay. Good guy this guy was. He was very helpful. He gave me some hints about barbs and what to do with other stuff. So a very good guy, very knowledgeable. Here he looks like he's got a win against us with Gunther's Siege. So I'm only 1.7 billion. I'm missing some reports because he was smoking me with Siege. I can't imagine I was so embarrassed that I deleted him. But I don't have Siege here, and he hit me with Siege, so I must not have healed him. His Siege attack was again 3,000. just like his ground. Let's see what I had for siege available for him to kill. I mean, he wiped out my siege. And after this point, I didn't heal it anymore. So, yeah, he just cleared out my siege. And when I say I didn't heal any, I wouldn't spend any soul on it because they don't go into the hospital, your siege. So I just built like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 at each level, and then I sat there for the rest of the SVS, so he wasn't going to kill much. Now, I did have to train, which wasn't great, but that's interesting. So where was I here? Here's a good siege one. I had all my siege. I feel like these reports are out of order because I eventually stopped healing. Once he saw me, he just knew he could get instant wins here. So this would be him smoking me with his siege. And you can see he cleared it out. So again, I'm teaching you how to beat me. But you do have to get 3,000 siege buff. Now let's take a look at his march. Does he send anything? Yeah, he sends all layers. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I want to look at one other thing. Okay. Oh, that's my report, darn it. I'm just checking here. All right, so that was the key. I don't think you need to see all these. Oh, he smoked somebody else in our alliance here. This is when I was down to 1.4 billion, and he was trying to clean me out, and that didn't work so well. But at the end, he did destroy me again. These are not in order. He did not take my siege out at the end of the battle, and that's the last report I have. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on with these reports and how they're organized as far as how the order they were. I had no siege at the end, and I didn't try to heal them. So that's my last report. That's not accurate. Anyways, this KURG guy comes in and just destroys our server single-handedly. Fact. Let's take a look. Look how bad he is. He had minus 14 billion points. I was going to do a video showing you just the reports where I smoked him and then show you how poorly he did. He had minus 14 billion points. Look how bad he's hurting his server, and show you all the bad stuff. And now it's going to be like, that's how politicians are. When you're watching the news and you're listening to politicians speak, they only tell you the one side of the story. And then I was going to show you the rest of the story. Like, yeah, but he scored 20 billion, and usually he's more positive than that. So I'll take credit to our traps on our server. But I was going to then give you the real story, do your own investigation. Same thing with science and DNA and fossil records, and billions of years old the Earth is, and can't possibly be that old because the moon is moving away from the Earth 2 inches a year. It wouldn't be here, and Jupiter is way too big to be where it is in our solar system to be formed by the Big Bang, and they can't prove how stuff is orbiting, so they make up dark matter, which nobody knows what it is. Nobody's ever seen it, but it has to be there because stuff can't orbit the way it's orbiting. All that kind of stuff where they definitely tell you we made ourselves and there's no God, and the politicians tell you that they're gonna save you and they're gonna lower your taxes, or they're going to give you what you deserve and tax the rich. They're all lying. Anyways, that was gonna be my video, how I was gonna start it out and just totally trash him, and then tell you the truth. He was an amazing player. Single-handedly just destroyed us. So we went ahead from several billion points after day one till he came along, and it was over. So I think I'm going to end it on that. KURG, I always want to call you KURG. KURG, you're the man, and was good talking to you, and I know we have some drama after this this event that we had to deal with. Sorry that we got so many turds on my server that are crybabies that don't fight, but they want to regulate and tell everybody what to do. So sorry you had to be a part of that. Other than that, I'm signing out. Till next time. See you guys. Posted this video and I realized I'm talking about KURG here. I wonder what that's short for. Like I said, I always want to call him KRUG. Well, let's at least show you his keep. They are in server 1348. This is KURG. He didn't make it into All-Stars, but I figure I should at least show this guy off a little bit. Maybe I should give him the ample opportunity to tell us a little about his account that totally kicked our butts. But there, I at least wanted to add that in there so you at least knew who this guy was that I'm I don't want to say worshiping because I don't do that to humans, but bragging up. All right, now we'll catch you later.